Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us. This is a Tuesday's edition of the program Shagalinku TV. My name is Ambassador Manuel Dabari, and it's a pleasure having you all. Okay, we're waiting for our guest. We'll be having veteran broadcaster Funke Treasure to join us to have a conversation. She just recently launched her book, and we'll be talking to her about that and also about the girl child education, and we'll look at a couple of other things, her advice to young people who want to go into a media or the corporate world. So still waiting for her to join us. I apparently think it's a network issue. So while we wait for Funke, I'd also like you to start dropping your comments in the comment section. And once she joins us, she will see your comments, and then we'll read them and she can respond to them. Funke is a veteran in the industry, and so for a lot of people, females, people generally would want to go into media and all that. And she's an author as well, so I know our conversation here today will spark off a lot of people's interest in also joining and doing a whole lot. So we're just waiting to see if Funke could join us, and then we'll roll on. Well, we'll be looking at the girl child education as well, because we can't talk about women empowerment without also looking at the girl child education, because that's really where it starts from. So when I see the likes of Funke. I see the likes of Eugenia Abu, Abike and a whole lot, Oneko Wenyo, Gozivi, and the rest. I am happy about it, but I'm also worried that how are we making efforts to replicate um, this whole thing in the rural girl, the girl down the street, the girl in the village, how we also making efforts, to make sure that girls have quality education or even have access to education. Okay, so these and many more we'll be looking at when my guest comes to join us, and I hope the network will let her do all that. Okay. So, Funke Treasure, we're waiting for you to come join us, and you can also talk with your fans. People are already dropping messages here. Thank you, Nelson Coco, all the way from Ghana. Thank you so much for always being there for us. Nelson is another author and a financial expert all the way from Ghana, joining us to on the show today. Yeah, thank you, Nelson. It's good to know that you're with us. Thank you so much. And I can see all your messages here. I'm just scrolling them on the screen so that those who also want to drop theirs could drop theirs. So if you have questions for our guest, Funke Treasure, please drop your comments on the comment section, just like Nelson from Ghana is dropping his, and then we'll read them as the program progresses. And if you're joining us from wherever, just also push the like button and tell us where you're watching us from, and we'll be glad you are also joining us. So while we wait for Funke, we'll be talking about the girl child. Another angle that the girl child suffers a setback when it comes to girl child education and even women empowerment is the FGM, female genital mutilation that's been going on in some parts of Nigeria and also Africa. And it's another setback for them because a lot of girls lost their lives when this whole thing happened. It happens all the time, and it's a culture. So you find a lot of girls dying as a result of female genital mutilation, also known as circumcision. So some tradition, a girl is not welcomed into womanhood when she wants to get married until she's circumcised. And even medically, it's been proven that it has an adverse effect, especially knowing that these things are done by women who may not know the health hazards or implications about this. So you find in some areas where one razor blade is used to circumcise a whole lot of girls, a lot of them at every point in time, and it may just not be well for the girls, and so much happens, after then. We've found instances where girls are infected. We've also found where even when they are caught that way, when they are circumcised that way, it affects also their reproductive system and all that. So that's why it's an angle we're looking at, and also saying um, there should be policies that should take care of that, and I hear just recently, about a day ago, I just read where some eastern states have also frowned against female genital mutilation, and it's becoming a criminal offense, for even parents to give out their daughters for FGM. So it's a step in the right direction. Another thing I like us to also look at is the culture where females are not allowed to inherit their father's property. There's another setback for when we talk about girl child education and women empowerment. Because the truth is, if we don't empower mothers, we may also not um, bring it down to empowering of the girl child. So the more we're able to empower more women, the more we let more women go to school, the more we let more women have economical stability. That way, we'll also be empowering the daughters, the girl child, because for every woman, for every mother who is educated, her wish will be to make sure her daughter gets educated too. And it's even a good one where you even see women who are not educated, but they tell you it doesn't matter whether I will fry akara or sell water on the street, but I'll make sure my daughter goes to school. So so if you find women who are not educated also clamoring and working so hard to make sure that they send their daughters to school, they send their children to school, and make sure that they break that jinx of lack of education in the family. So you can imagine how much more it will be when you have more women go to school, more women earn money, more women become financially independent. It will trickle down on their daughters and all that. Okay, so that's another angle um, we should look at things from. From for the girl child, there's a whole lot of worrisome impediments. I look at it from the Nigerian and African scenario, where people still look at the girl child as a second class citizen. They're married off at very tender ages, to go be child brides. As early as 10 years, some girls are married out. And that's, for me, it's a child. Yeah, a child should be a child, not a bride, not a mother to be, not a mother self and all that. So there are stages in life, and at 10, a child should be in school. Her main focus and worry should be how she could get educated, get to mix with the society, flow along and express herself. Let her have some dreams, and see how we could help her achieve those dreams. That should be the desire of parents. That should be the desire of the society. That should be the desire of every government, to protect and provide for the girl child, for children generally, for the boy child as well. They should go to school and all that. Okay. So tell us what you think about the girl child education. What do you think about women empowerment, and what do you think about the girl child education? What should we begin to do differently to make sure that the girl child is protected, is provided for, and is catered for? I'd like to know your opinions on the comment section, and just tell us what you think about the girl child education, how you think we can empower the girl child to live her dream and become the best she could be. Um, I got this one here from Gia, all the way from Abuja. Gia Theophilus is saying that this this is an educative topic, a discussion, well selected topic issue to talk about. Yeah, yeah. So Gia, what do you think about it? Because a lot of times, even men are also guilty of why the girl child education it's not growing at the encouraging rate that it should grow. So you find in a home where a boy and a girl child are at home, and if peradventure the family doesn't have money to take care of the two children at the same time, the male and the female child, tendencies are that families will take a decision, many families will take a decision to push the boy child to gain education first and then tell the girl child to hold on, you know. You still find in the African culture where a lot of women still feel they're not married to their husbands or they are not rooted in the marriage if they haven't had a male child. It's as sad as that. So a woman will have like six daughters and she still in her subconscious feels insecure and uncertain about the marriage because she feels that maybe her husband might just go get another wife who will bear him male children, and then she'll become like the second wife or the third, as the case may be, just because she doesn't have a male child. So it is very important as well that as men, as fathers, we must begin to also boost the morale of our female children, to also tell them that they are no lesser than the male child. So we must begin to also encourage our female children to live their dreams, to dream high, to aspire to be something high. It's not the time where we begin to tell I've heard a lot of fathers say, even a lot of mothers also say that the girl child is just a transient child, that she's just transiting, she's just on a transit. It's strange when they refer to human beings like a vehicle, like a car, that she's just transiting to, excuse me, her mother's house, her husband's house, so to say. And by the way, let me also say here to thank our sponsors for today. This program is also supported by Oppo Phone. They did that for us last week, and here they are again supporting us for this edition. So thank you, Oppo. And then you can see I have a beautiful mug here, and yes, thank you so much for supporting us. And Oppo are makers of phones and phone accessories, high quality phones and accessories like AirPod, charger, phones of different types and grades. So avail yourself of that and do get an Oppo phone for yourself soon. Okay, so we'll take a quick break now. We'll come back and then I'll still continue. I'm asking what can we do to improve the girl child education? How can we also begin to boost the confidence of the female folks, the female child, knowing that in the African culture, there's still patriarchy, it's still a man's world and all that. How do we begin to reshape and rejuvenate the psyche of people to know that whether you're a boy child or a girl child, all that matters is determination, courage, and a passion to become a better person. Welcome to Shagalinku. We're still waiting for our guest, Funke Treasure. If she comes, fine. If she doesn't, let's just flow into discussions. And please drop your comments in the comment section what you think about the girl child education, and we'll read them as the program goes on. Okay, welcome back. It's the Shagalinku here, the Tuesdays edition. Remember, it comes your way every Tuesdays, and Saturdays, 2 p.m. West African time. And then we're supposed to have a guest, a media guru. She's a writer, an author, a trainer, and all that. And she just recently launched a new book yesterday. And that's why we felt we could talk with her to tell us more about her experience launching that book and all of that. But network is just holding her back. Let's see if before we finish the program, she's still not here. No problem. We'll just go on. So we're looking at the girl child. What do you think we can do um, to strengthen the girl child? She has a lot of issues. The girl child is born into, I think she's a victim of circumstance. So many odds are against her. And we must begin to make conscious effort to make sure that the girl child finds her footing, you know. Even in the home space, you find a lot of, surprisingly, you find mothers who also maltreat the girl child, you know. So how do I say maltreat here? So you find a situation where the girl child will be in the kitchen with her mother, you know, even when she's 15, the girl child will be in the kitchen with her mother, and her mother will encourage the boy child that is 7 years old to stay in the parlor and gist with her father, with his father, and then maybe even go out and play football with his friends. And even when the girl child of 15 complains, the mother will tell the girl that don't you know he's the man of the house. I mean, at a very tender age, men have, young boys have been, they have the psyche, even from the home front, that they are more superior than even their sisters, you know. And it's not a healthy one. It's not good for us as human beings. It's not also good for the boy child. Because what you're in essence telling the boy child is that at that tender age of 7, he's the almighty male child. He's the all-knowing. He's he can't be corrected. He can't be asked for assistance. He can't, wherever he gets to, he should dominate and look down at others. So if you're telling a boy of 7 years to stay in the parlor and watch TV or go play football, and then while you are slaving his elder sister, even when he knows his elder sister is many years ahead of him or many years his senior, you're already teaching the boy child from the home front the patriarchy behavior, the male ego, and all that. And this is where a lot of parents, particularly mothers, are culprit of. So we must begin to build a boy child to know that his sister is a partner in progress. So we must begin to assign um, not just roles now, but we must begin to assign work in the home front for everybody, whether you're a male, whether you're a female child. Parents must begin to assign work roles to everyone to do. So when it's turn for the girl child to wash the car, we shouldn't say, ah, no, he's a girl, oh, you know, she's fragile, she's a girl, please don't let her do hard work. And then when it's time to wash the plates, to do the dishes, to even cook, we shouldn't say, ah, he's he's a boy, you know, boys now, they're not good in the kitchen, they can't cook. Let's leave the girls to do it. So there should be the same portion of job. The boys and the girls should be in the kitchen cooking, while the boy and the girl can wash the cars, you know, can do the jobs in the house. We must begin to teach the boys and the girls that they can actually do what they want to do. So, irrespective of their gender and all that. So, it's very important for us to take up all that. I think my guest is here now, so I'll bring her on. And hello,
Hello.
it's
Hi.
good to have you. We've been waiting for the past 19 minutes.
I guess it's the accident of technology.
uh, you couldn't join
I
on
think I
time.
pressed the wrong thing and it just took me off your space. Kept telling me about mic and
Uh,
camera. Hello.
oh,
Good
so
to be
sorry.
here finally.
Yeah. First of all, let me tell the world. This is Funke Treasure for you, the woman with the golden voice. I think let me zoom it more so that everyone can see our guest for today. Funke Treasure is a broadcaster, a media guru, an author, a writer. She will do more of the explanations anyway because she's a whole lot. She's a full package in the commercial world. Okay, so now that you're here, let's even start off. First of all, congratulations on the launch of your book.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So, how take us through the launch because that's about the latest thing from your
Thank you.
stable. I know, I know. As we go on the program, we'll talk more. But please take us through the launch.
Right. It was a very beautiful afternoon of conversations around my book, my first book, actually. I have three books that I've written, but that's my first book. And that was the third edition of the book we released yesterday. It was a roll call of, dignitaries in the arts sector, in the books and art sector. We had Professor C.D. Osho, who's a professor of agriculture, which is also the former vice chancellor of Afe Babalola University. She was the chief guest of honor. My high chief from Ibadan land, the Ekefa Olubadan of Ibadan land, was the chairman of the occasion, Oloye Lekan Alabi, a journalist, a personality, and more. And then we had our reviewers. We had three reviewers. We had Mr. Kunle Ajibade, the ED of the News magazine, who's also an author and who authored the book Jailed for Life. I don't know if you've ever read that book. It's one of the books you should read. It's about the danger of practicing journalism in Nigeria and getting jailed for life for reporting and doing your work as a journalist. So he's the author of that book. He was one of our reviewers yesterday, esteemed reviewers yesterday. We also had a Punch columnist, Mr. Lekon Shote, who was also a reviewer. And then we had a woman who's the head teacher of Carol Schools here in Ikeja, Lagos. And then we had other people gave remarks about the books, and then about the soundtrack as well, because this is a book that has a workbook and a soundtrack to the book. And in a nutshell, we just talked about grandmothers. Because the title of the book is Memories of Grandma. So it was interesting
Well,
to hear people talk about my work and to hear them share their experiences with their grandmothers as well.
mm, mm. Well, okay. So congratulations are in order, and I pray the book goes far. I know it's a passion for you, and I pray that it wins many awards.
Amen. Amen.
Mm. Okay. I was saying before you came on that when I see women like you, when I see the likes of Ngozi Wiala, when hear people talk about women empowerment, I say let's trace it back. We can't have women empowerment if we also are not meticulous about the girl child education. Because I mean, look at the beautiful things you're doing, look at what other women are doing. It's not magical, it's a steady, conscious, educational effort, So, are you worried about the girl child? Because I know you are passionate about education, you a whole lot, you into trainings and all that. Tell us more about what is lacking with the girl child education.
Well, I have a passion for the girl child, just as you've rightly noted. I think the girl child needs more opportunity than she's been given at the moment. I think, and someone can contest that with me to say that We give so much opportunities to the girl child and forget about the boy child. But that's another conversation for another day, I think. What I want to say about the average girl child, because when we say girl child, I don't mean the one who schools in the UK or the one who schools in the US or wherever else in the world. We're talking of children from the low income class. We're talking of children who don't have access to water, children who don't have, I mean, girls who don't have access to the basic in life. And the scores of them, there are thousands of them. I dare say there are millions of them in Nigeria. And so I'm looking for a way to make them be part of developmental development in the country. What I mean by that is how you nurture a child today determines the future of that child. And when that child is denied the the very basic in life, that child at the end of the day cannot maximize what life has got to offer. And so I look at things like table tennis. I know that our boys play football. They get signed on if they play really good. They join clubs here and there, and they soar with football and other other sports. Our girls back in time, the likes of Funke Oshonaike and the likes of Bosse, could
Mary Onyali and the
dream,
rest.
yeah, could dream of being wherever they wanted to. I mean, these are many times they've been to the Olympics, they've won awards, competitions here and there. And if you look at table tennis today, you hardly that glory is gone, and it doesn't seem like we're encouraging girls to go into table tennis. And table tennis is the sort of game that you can play even at home inside your room, inside your sitting room. So why are we not grooming girls to begin to take up that sports? Because um, if they can't excel in the classrooms, they can excel out of the classroom. And table tennis is one of those sports. It's less. What's the word for it now? It has minimal
Less
contact.
fashionable. Mm,
Right. It has minimal contact. That's the word I was looking for. Because you don't, and then it's not violent. You don't have to break a bone or so, or the other playing that game, engaging in it. So that's how I started the Funke Treasure Table Tennis Championship 2 years ago, held in Ibadan. We had quite a number of girls from public schools. They took part in the competition. It was a 3-day event. We had a mentoring, coaching day as well. They were coached by Bosse Kafo, our darling Bosse Kafo, multiple award-winning woman, and we had a good time. At the end of the day, 4 girls won. The first prize was 100,000 naira. The girl who won it was from a low income family. The mother sells rice, you know, by the roadside, So, and then the second prize, 75, the third prize was 50. And then because I wanted to give, I then made the fourth prize to get something as well. So it wasn't a winner takes it all. And then if you look at the sanitary pad
mm.
project that I'm doing, it's also for the girl child, because the truth is, the girl child has more challenges than the boy child. And you want to look at the issue of menstruation. Many girls can't afford the sanitary pad or sanitary towel. So quite a number of organizations giving sanitary towels or menstrual hygiene products to to girls in secondary schools. And I knew that we could do with more people giving to the girls. So I started the sanitary pad media campaign again because I think it's not as it's underreported. And for someone of my clout and status in the media industry, I felt I'll give it more visibility as well if I joined the the circle of those who were given to these girls. It will interest you to know that quite a number of girls cannot go to school during the menstrual cycle because one, they don't have access to menstrual hygiene products, they don't have access to water, they don't have access to toilet facilities, so they'll rather stay at home. If they did that about 6 times in a year, because this is a monthly cycle, 1 month, 1 day, they're going to tell their parents that, you know what? I don't want to go to school anymore. Or the parents would just say, you know what? That's a tray of colonels there, or a tray of whatever. You pick it and go and sell. And that might be the end of education for that girl. I don't want that to happen. I want girls to have opportunities to be an Okonjo Iweala tomorrow, to be an Obieze Quisly tomorrow, to be Ifunke Treasure tomorrow, to be able to maximize and fulfill purpose. And if you look
mm,
at the Memories of Grandma, the book we just launched yesterday, which third edition we just launched yesterday, you see that it's also about older women, the role of intergenerational mentoring. That's what Eugenia Abu called it yesterday. She was also one of our esteemed guests. So if you look at intergenerational mentoring and coaching between women from one generation to the other, you see that the role of grandmothers is enormous because they're the custodians of culture. They're the ones who pass on the baton. This is how we eat in our culture. And you know that we have different ways of eating, especially mold. We call it swallow in Nigeria. We eat it differently. In Igbo land, there's a they put it. Can you see my finger, my hand? Right
yeah,
when
yeah.
they pick
Scoop it. Mm,
a muscle of swallow, they do it like this and roll it and roll it and roll it and bring it out and touch stew with it or soup with it and eat it. We don't do that in Yoruba land. We do like this. We 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 just swipe like a swipe. We swipe like this, take the
mm,
muscle into the soup, and then so even in the way we eat, it's we're different. It's a culture. There's a way of eating in Yoruba land. There's a way of eating. I don't know how the houses do it over there. Maybe when you invite me to Kano, I watch our brothers in the north, and then I'll be able to tell the difference. Then again, our hair. Increasingly, we're wearing things like this and wearing braids, and all we know that when we wear our wigs, we do an all back. What is an all back called in your language? What is an all back called in my language? In my language, which is Yoruba, it's called um there is kolese, there is patewo. They have different names. Do our children know the different names? When you talk about the clothes that we wear, my favorite contention in terms of clothing is the implementation of kembe and nogudu. Kembe is free, is big, but no is is different. Do our children know the difference? If you're talking of vegetables, because of globalization, we know that in Lagos there we have a lot of ugu. I don't know about Kano. We have a lot of ugu and shoko and tete. These are greens, But there are other vegetables, and if we don't intentionally socialize our children to learning these things, we're going to wake up one day and then realize that all our children know to do and to say is English, in thinking in English, learning in English, and all of that. It's not going to help because when you think in your mother tongue and you learn in your mother tongue, you catch up fast than when you learn in a second language. And we have to just be deliberate about preserving our culture, our language. We have to, we should, because your identity is important anywhere you are in the world. You will still be referred to as an American Nigerian. Nigeria will still be part of it, even if you were born there. And you never been to Nigeria. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't, identify with your roots as a Nigerian. Part of identifying with your roots is knowing how to say ekaro, which means good morning, how to say kason, good afternoon. If somebody has a newborn baby, how you greet that person is different from the basic ekaro and ekaso and ekale. If somebody dies, how do you commiserate with the person?
We're still on here, and I'm trying to take some messages while we still wait for our guest. Sorry, it's been she went off. We'll expect her to join us soon. The conversations is still on, and we're looking at our guest. Conversations with Funke Treasure. She's a media guru and a girl child education activist. She's also an author, a writer, and a whole lot culture enthusiast. And I'm sure you saw that from some of the things she said. So keep your messages coming. We'll be reading them shortly. I just want my guest to join us again, and then I'll read some of the messages that are here. Um, okay, yeah, she's back. So let me put her on, and then, okay, yeah, Funke, you're back. Sorry for that little hitch. Okay, okay. Uh, we can't hear you. Did you mute your mic?
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. I think you mute your
Right.
mic before. So yeah,
So, I mean, I was
okay,
talking about our culture and way of life and some of the things that preserved in the book Memories of Grandma. I mean, and that's just it. I can say um, we can't overflog it. It's imperative that we talk
yeah,
about it.
yeah. Okay. I'm also going to ask you this. Um,
No,
it's
not at
such
all.
a
I
lot of
didn't
us.
touch the mic. I didn't touch anything.
Oh, okay. So, a lot of people didn't have that luxury to have grown up with their grandmas. I'm sure you make them go green with envy with your book
Can you
and
hear me now?
how you talk about some of these things. Hello. Okay. We're still waiting for our guest, Funke Treasure, to join us. We're having a little issue with our network, and when she joins, we'll ask her, in case she's listening. A lot of people didn't grow up or have the luxury of growing up with their grandmom, so to have this wealth of knowledge, transition of culture, and all of that, especially with this modern time modernization. has made it apparently difficult for parents these days to send their kids to the village to for their grandparents to maybe train them or be with them. The only time. Okay, okay. So I'm asking that what about people who, children who didn't have that luxury to have had the opportunity to stay with their grandparents or grandmas and all that? Because with modernization, it's so difficult. So everyone is urban these days. Everyone is in the urban city. It, some barely go home. Maybe it's once in Christmas to see grandma and they are back. And the culture also being, sleep, isn't the culture also slipping away, and are we not having a disconnect with the generation now and the generation before that? We're not bridging that gap between them. Y- Your mic again.
Yeah.
Please unmute your mic. Okay. Hello. Yeah.
About our children. Mhm. So I didn't touch anything. I didn't touch anything.
Mm, okay.
Can you hear me
It's
now?
going off and come. Yes, I can hear you now.
Hello.
It's just go. It's just going off and coming back, but I can hear you now.
I didn't touch anything.
Okay, please go on. Please go on.
The thing says everyone can see me and hear me. Can you hear me now? Mike is
Yes, I
muted.
can.
Mike is unmuted.
Okay, so go on. I can hear you.
Yeah, my mic is okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, I can. Just go on.
It must be the network because I really didn't even touch it. Yeah, I didn't touch it initially. So I don't know. It must be the network. So essentially, it just behoves the fact that, yeah, it's just a basic facts that we just need to bond with our children. It's our responsibility. It's nobody else's responsibility. Your children into your culture and way of life. Our- yeah, and our grandmothers are maybe better prepared for it because of their experience in life. Yeah, because of the experience in life and the fact that they've seen it all. In that book, you see the difference between grandparenting and parenting. And you've asked a question, and I think the straight answer is we should not demonize our villages and we should not demonize our as well. Just because you have gray hairs doesn't make you a witch. It doesn't make you evil. So Nollywood should try to stop portraying grandmas as witches and village people as, evil people. Because that's the myth and that's the thinking that stops a particular generation of people. I mean, it's not always the case. I'm not saying it doesn't exist, but it's not always the case. So that's just the point I want to make.
Um, I'll take a few messages here and then I'll come back to you. In case
Hello,
you
are
just
you
joined
there?
us,
Can
the
you still hear
program
me?
is Shagalinku. It's the Tuesday's edition, and I'm having my guest, Funke Treasure, a media guru, and you can see for yourself. And an author too who just launched her new book yesterday. So some messages are here. This one is from Ghana, from Nelson. It says, "Keep it up. I got another one from Nelson. It says, "You're doing you're doing an amazing work. Thank you." From Gia says, "This is an educative discussion, well selected topic, issues to talk about." And from Brother Pace, it says, Role model." Um, Gia, the second time, says, "I I believe that the female child is important as a male child. I believe that the female child deserves the support in shaping her future as that of the male child." Okay. Um, Funke, just let me take a whole lot of messages. You might just have to keep them, and I will ask for your views on each of them. But let me just read all of them because of the network issue. This one is from Karim J.A. Jackson from Philippines in Asia. It says, "Wow, awesome, such a great insight." And then this one from Kenya particularly touched on some of the things you've said. Adiambo Odiambo from Kenya said, "Hi, Ambassador Gabari. The guest is speaking to my heart. It's almost like she had interviewed me. Good job." Funke Treasure, can you respond to some of these? If you can hear us, please do respond to some of these. Hello? Hello? Okay, so while we wait for our guest to come back, sorry about the network issue. This is also to say that this episode is partly supported by Oppo phones. And yes, we are here too, just taking our time. Um, Funke Treasure will be back and then she will respond to some of the messages that are here, particularly the one from Odiambo in Kenya, and talking about our guest speaking to our heart. So I like Funke to respond to that as we go on in the program. Yeah, so keep your messages coming. We'll read them as we progress, and then we'll have a few more minutes left for our guest and I to wrap up. But then let's see how it goes, and we'll take all of that. So, Funke, if you can see these ones from some of the messages we read, we'd like you to come back on if your network permits and let us respond to some of these ones, and then we'll find a way of wrapping up the show. Okay, network has been very bad for, been a bit tricky for our guests, and we're looking at the girl child. We're looking at how to empower the girl child to also become a woman, to also empower others. They say if you train a boy child, you just trained one person, but if you train a woman, you'll be training a whole lot and the nation actually. So let's see if our guests will be able to join us back, and then we'll wrap up the program. I've read a couple of messages here, and then we will also take on this one, and then keep your messages coming. We'll read as many as we can before we wrap up the show. And thanks to Oppo. The question for today is, we needed to do a rhyme for us. Do a rhyme and then let us know. Do a rhyme on Oppo. Just do a rhyme. Either you sing or you write a poem or something, but just do something using the word Oppo phones, and then you will um, put it here for us and we can see. And yes, to our winners, we got two entries, two winners who got it right. So Osazua was one of them and then Susan was also the second winner, and they've also collected their prizes. Yeah, so we still have more prizes here. So your keep your answers to the questions. So we're asking for Tuesday. We're asking you to do something. Compose a song, compose a poem, just do something with the word Oppo phones, and then you stand a chance of winning some of the Oppo products that we have. We're wrapping up soon, and so we're waiting for our guests to join us and then wrap up. So this is saying congratulations to Osazua and Susie for winning the question we asked on Saturday, and you can see them here collecting their prizes. So it's real. Um, when we do all this, it's real. I would also want to give out a few cards. I don't know if we still have time. We have a few more time left, so I'll just give out a few more cards, and then we'll wrap up the show for today. That's if we can get our guests to come back online. So for the yellow network, 60835580453955 673. Okay, I take it again for the yellow network. 60835580453955 673. That's for the yellow network. And then for the green network, I think my guest is back. So let me quickly read this green network, and then I'll quickly bring her on to say her last words. For the green network, 941-3643-3277-2365. This is for the green network. I take it again, 941-3643-3277, 2365 is the number. My guest is back. Let me quickly bring her in and let's see. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, sorry for the network.
Hello.
Okay. Yeah, so go on. I read some of the messages here, so go on and see if you could respond to some of them.
Let me see. I don't have my glasses on now. The guest is
Okay,
speaking to
let me
my
read this.
heart, and it's fine. Okay,
Yeah,
thank
he
you.
said this is from Odiambo in Kenya. It says, "Hi, Ambassador Emmanuel Gabari. The guest is speaking to my heart. It's almost like she had interviewed me. Good job." So, what do you have to say?
Thank you, thank you. I have quite a number of friends in Kenya, and I feel like I'm connecting to them right now. Thank you so much. Thank you.
And then this other one here, it's from Karim Jackson. I'm trying to put it on the screen. Yeah. Karim Jackson is from the Philippine island in Asia. It says, "Wow, awesome. Such great insight." And this other one is from Gia in Abuja. It says, because I was asking before you came on air, I was asking that how could we also ensure that the girl child and the girl child education doesn't also suffer. So this is from Gia, and it says, "I believe that the female child is as important as the male child. I believe that the female child deserves all the support in shaping her future as that of the male child." So what do you have to say, ma'am?
This is what I have to say. My own little corner of the world. I am asking my friends and people of goodwill to donate to the work we're doing at the Sanitary Pad Media Campaign, which is, and what we intend to do is to have 10 locations across the country if we can. Otherwise, we can stay in the Southwest where we'll have 100 girls benefits from our sanitary pad media project. I am not looking at giving them menstrual hygiene products alone. I'm also looking at constructing toilets and boreholes for them. So if I have 10 individuals or 10 companies who that will work with me to construct boreholes and toilets in rural communities or urban slums anywhere in Nigeria, I'll be glad to work with them. In addition to me giving these girls sanitary pads for a year, I'm not giving one pack of sanitary pads for a girl. I am giving them two for a month for the whole year. Any girl who gets into the Sanitary Pad Media Project gets to have two sanitary packs a month for 12 months. And I'm doing that in 10 locations, in 10 schools, in 10 communities across the country. If the spirit moves you, you can join me in this quest. It's not just about, having sanitary pad. It's also about having everything that makes you comfortable to be in school. In that wise, the boy child is not the same as the girl child. The girl child has to deal with crumbs in addition to getting menstrual pads, in addition to getting sanitary products. The boy, so a lot of girls have menstrual pain, and you have to factor that in at that time of the month. They deal with irritation and depression. So you have to factor that in when you're teaching them in class. They're not the same as the boy child. The boy child can jump up and go play football. The girl child is constrained because of physiological reasons to wake up. So we have to consider that when we consider that when we deal with the girl child, whether in school, whether on the streets, everywhere we go, because they then become mothers tomorrow and they become grandmothers tomorrow. So we need to really take our time to nurture them. The book Memories of Grandma is so
Yes.
instructive. We had all the reviewers singing high praises of the book yesterday. It's available on Kindle. It's also, excuse me, available on Kobo. I will send the link to you so that you can share with your viewers here. But this is not a project that I want to go to sleep about. It's not ended with the book. And I just keep the rest to my chest when we unfold the other plans for the book. You get to know at Shagalinku TV. But let me let you know that this is a passion for me. It's not just the book. I want to see our children switch from impeccable English to speaking their mother tongues. And even their dialect. So it's not just for me, it's not just about you being able to speak Yoruba. You should be able to speak Yoruba. You should be able to speak your dialects because we all belong to even more peculiar areas within the Yoruba nation, within the Hausa nation, within the Kanuri nation, within the Maasai, or in the different areas of Ghana. You have to speak your dialect. How on earth would you not be able to speak your dialect? You must speak your dialect. And then in addition to English, because English is our second language and your language is your mother tongue. UNESCO says 40% of people across the world, of children, cannot speak their mother tongue. And If you can't speak your mother tongue and learning your mother tongue, something is missing. In some places, they even teach English with the mother tongue. How about that for size? They teach English with the mother
Yeah.
tongue, and then it becomes clearer. It becomes easier to understand. They teach mathematics in the mother tongue. It makes it easier to understand. So we must not be more Catholic than the Pope. We must be intentional to teach our children. You see this? It's called finger. What is it called in our language, my daughter? It is called Ika. You see, this is called ring in English. What is it called in my language? Oruka. If your child can do that, if you can't do that for your children, then you have to buckle up. You have to change and be intentional and be deliberate in teaching your children about their roots. No matter how long they stay abroad, their skin is not white. They're still not going to be. I mean, that's why we talk about racism and all of that. But you must be
Mm,
grounded in your own roots. Is nothing to be ashamed of. It's your identity. So don't let it die. Please don't let it die. Wherever you are watching us at this hour, wherever in the world, do not let your identity be eroded with you. Don't let it stop with you. Your child deserves the opportunity to be connected to his roots and be able to identify himself in this wild world that we are.
mm. Thank you very much. I'll take a few more messages
So that
now,
will be
and
my
then we'll
part
wrap
in
up.
short.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much. Let me take these messages here, and then we'll wrap up. This one is from Abu Achona Monday. It says, "Your language is your mother tongue." Yeah, and he also says, "Great." I guess he's been listening to you. And then
Okay, can you hear me now?
the
Did you
yes,
lose
I'm
me at
hearing
some
you.
point?
No, 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 no. I'm okay. I'm getting you. This is from Adiambo a second time, and she says, I come from a community that is so proud of our dialect, and even nationalize some words. Indeed, if you can speak your language, you are you are you are lost. Okay, if you can't speak your language, you are lost, Okay. Finally, um Lady Funke, who would you like to send your shout outs to as we wrap up the program now? Any words of felicitations to maybe people who came for your book launch, and then to people generally, what would be your felicitation? Oh, she's gone off. I was trying to, okay, so I guess I'll just be left to do all the felicitations on behalf of her and everyone. So, yeah, thank you everyone for joining us. And thanks to my guest, Funke Treasure. She's a media guru, a book writer, a culture enthusiast, and all that. Network has been bad. We'll find another time to maybe bring her back, so she could talk extensively about other aspects of it all. And thank you once again for joining us. Thanks to Adiambo from Kenya, Abu Achonam, yeah, and Karim from Philippines, Gia from Abuja, Brother Pace, I guess you're in Jigawa or so. Nelson from Ghana, thank you all for joining us. We truly, truly, truly appreciate. And let's do this again on Saturday, God willing, where we'll be here with a fresh edition of the program, and also with another guest to talk about another topic of discussion. Thanks once again to Oppo. Yes, thanks for supporting us. And okay, Funke is back. I think I'll just let her do her felicitations. Anybody should like to greet, let's just have her greet them and go. So, Funke, in 30 seconds, who would you like to send your felicitations to as we wrap up?
I just want to thank Who do I do felicitations? I would thank our viewers who've engaged with us on the show this afternoon. I want to thank all my reviewers at the book release yesterday and the really stimulating conversations we had about the book Memories of Grandma. I want to ask you to buy the book on Kindle or Kobo, and I want to ask you, if you don't remember anything that I've said today, please do remember that it's your right. I mean, it's your opportunity. I'm looking for the word now. It's your responsibility to teach your child your language. It's your responsibility to teach the girl next door or the boy next door about your culture if you're in the if you share the same culture. Because as we hear people say, it takes a village to raise a child. Increasingly, we've alienated ourselves as a community of people, and we've embraced this one man, one wife, and one child or two children. And my neighbor is not my business. Your neighbor is your business in the African community because it takes a village to raise a child, right? So the next child should be your cup of tea in the African setup. So remember to extend the knowledge of your culture that you have. In my culture, you do not ever give an elder something with your left hand. If I see any child doing that, I'll call that child to order. You don't go walk with an elder and he carries something on his head or has something in his hands and you don't offer to help him with it or help her with it. If you see a girl, a boy, or anyone doing that, you correct that person and you lead by example. We're all leaders in our different corners of the world. So let's lead effectively, efficiently, and let's make the world a better place. Your identity is important. So don't throw it away in the guise of globalization, in the guise of being westernized, in the guise of being sophisticated. True sophistication is the ability to speak your language and to speak a second language or perhaps a third language. It is not sophistication to not be able to speak your language. And I just leave it right there. Thank you very much for having me today.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure having you here. Well, that's the size of our program, and thanks to everyone who joined us, and thanks to our guest, Funke Treasure, and thanks to you all for being part of the program. Till I see you all on Saturday, God bless you all. My name is Ambassador Emmanuel Gabari, urging you to stay blessed and enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. God bless you.